Greetings, Andy here again, and day 6 of my Advent Calendar countdown of my favourite records, and we have now reached, I'm checking my numbers because I can't hold all these numbers in my head, especially with my nose still being like it is. Anyway, we've reached number 19, and this is a bit of a departure for me because we've got a bit of reggae. And it is Dreadzone and their 9th album, 9, and it's not like reggae I tend to think of. It was this was a bit of an eye opener for me, and this is what I said about it in October when I got this album. And this is a band I've sort of heard of but don't know, and it's Dreadzone and their album 9. Now, lots of you will be saying, well, I know all about them. They've been around since the early 90s, and indeed they have, but somehow they've sort of passed me by. And I mentioned Epiphany because, I mean, Dreadzone is essentially reggae, it's sort of dub reggae. But I like reggae, but it's not a genre that I particularly buy or listen to that much. And one thing I don't associate reggae with is sophisticated music. You know, it's nice folk-based, nice music. I like it. But the Epiphany this is really sophisticated. I mean, I've seen them described as fusion of sort of post-punk and dub reggae. But on here, it goes further than that. It's almost, in some songs, there's almost a fusion of a bit of prog there. Is it prog? Yeah, I know I say that a lot. Well, not really, but it's reggae. But if you get that sort of fusion, there are some songs in there which remind me a little bit of public service broadcasting musically. It's not that there's lots of samples on there. There is the bit, and the last song, which I put a little bit of a snippet on, literally the last song is called Last Song, has a little bit of guitar solo, which is reminiscent in style of Gilmour. No, it doesn't sound like Pink Floyd remotely, but it's just got this feel to it. I was absolutely gobsmacked by this. I was alerted to it, shall we say, by a Facebook friend who collects records, Simon, and I streamed most of it, whizzed through it a bit, and thought, wow, that's amazing. So I bought it, absolutely loving it. So I'm probably going to have to go back and explore some of their previous stuff. This album is called 9. And I believe it is their 9th studio album, but also there are 9 tracks on here. And that's another thing, because they're not short tracks. So these are long form tracks. Again, I don't really associate that with reggae. I tend to think of them as relatively short, sort of 3-4 minutes, as opposed to 10 or something. This is really good. They've been around since the early 90s. They're led by a guy called Greg Dredd, whose actual name I think is Greg Roberts, and was the drummer in Big Audio Dynamite back in the 80s. So, and as I say, they've been around since then. Various changes in lineup. And I'm absolutely loving this. So, here's a real find. So for me anyway, and I'm sure lots of you know these people really well, but I don't. And it's Dreadzone and the album 9. As I say, it's a double with 9 tracks spread across 4 sides. So obviously 3 sides have got 2 tracks and one's got 3. And it's very resplendent in what they call berry, which is a sort of pinky, reddy, purpley sort of affair. So So there you go. That was Dread Zone. Really enjoyable album, and I will be recording the next one hopefully after I've had all this nose stuff out and I can show my face again without putting people off. So thanks for watching. Cheers.